So today I was thinking and I came to a realization. This is going to be for the people who like to engage in the capitalist versus socialist debate, the eternal debate. But if you think about times before this time when leftism was the counterculture, when leftism or the current leftist ideals would very much be taboo. When people were a little bit more conservative and patriotic, they thought a little bit more about the future. They wanted to have a lot of children and were able to have a lot of children. It wasn't an economic burden on them. Back in these times, capitalism was self-regulating, if you think about it. It wasn't as relentless as it is now. It was certainly there, but it was in a controlled state. And it didn't require any outside force to keep it in a controlled state. The people who I suppose you could regard as the capitalists of back then simply weren't as relentless in their desire for profit and wealth accumulation because they still considered themselves members of a great nation. However, if you fast forward the clock to now, where leftists and the leftist values have gotten completely out of control and have become the social norm, leftists are in positions of power, they regulate government, media, state security, and are infecting our education system too. Now, despite the leftists taking this anti-capitalist standpoint, now capitalism is actually a monster. It's totally unregulated to the point at which private entities and corporations own politicians that as front men for corporations. Everybody knows that. And national infrastructure is up for sale. One of our shipping ports in Sydney was sold to China a little over a year ago, and it didn't even make the news. This is an indispensable national asset for the importation and exportation of goods. And we've sold it to foreign, we haven't, politicians owned by private corporations have sold it to foreign investors. This never would have happened with in a country with a soul, a country with a nationally minded populace. Even a country with capitalists or with free market never would have done this to itself. Only in a country where leftists were in control is this possible. So I think this is an interesting talking point, the fact that capitalism is actually totally out of control and a complete monster only when leftists are in power. Yeah. So, yeah, what do you reckon?